of Trump. So when they saw Trump, they just latched to it.
Oh, well, I actually wanted to bring up this issue of Black Lives Matter, and I just wrote it down here. But then, of course, something close to that has just come in, and it's our correspondent, Adeshewa Josh in New York, who will be giving us an update on how the black community has voted in the U.S. presidential elections.
Right now, I am on 125th Street in Harlem, one of the most popular black neighborhoods in New York City. I have with me right here a black voter who would like to tell us what is informing your decision.
Pretty much, I'm still working, still trying to establish myself as a small business owner. So knowing that I can grow as a woman in this industry, I'm definitely going with a monumental moment for us as women. You know what I mean? So that just says enough right there. Okay. So I don't even have to tell anybody who I'm voting for. That just says enough, because it's going to be monumental for women.
It's a lot of stuff shutting down in the neighborhoods. We need a lot here for the kids. We got to open some type of community, centers, playground. We got to create a broader, system for the kids, because it's like now they're shutting everything down. They're taking budgets. And it's getting real, it's getting to a point where we really got to pay attention. My thing is, I vote for who I think is going to make that change.
So who is this person?
This person is definitely not a male. You know what I mean? So that, I'm going Team Hillary, and just hoping that she does what she says.
Voting inspectors at this polling site say that the process has been smooth and voters' turnout has been relatively good. However, this has not been the case across all polling centers in New York City. We've heard reports both in local and social media of ballot machines not working, which caused longer queues with lesser voting attendance attending to people. And in fact, some voters had to go back home without voting. We have also heard of voter disenfranchisement. All of these issues have been reported to the New York Board of Elections, and they are currently being looked into.
Thank you, Adeshewa, for that. Well, one of the most diplomatic replies I've heard to a question about who his choice of candidate would be, and he said, it's definitely not going to be a man. Well, that's not definite, but it's very, very loud and clear. Well, as Adeshewa was rounding up her report, of course, something a little bit out of the ordinary, talking about voting machines failing, voter disenfranchisement. I used to wonder, or I used to imagine, in a near-perfect system like the United States electoral process, that would be unheard of.
No, I think it's the percentage failure that matters.
It's machines fail.
It's the percentage failure that matters. I think it is infinitesimal, the failure rate in the United States. So even when it happens in our country, it is the magnitude that makes us quick. If it happens in few places, we wouldn't mind. But it's a situation where by 12 p.m., polling stations have not even opened, and the materials are still at the headquarters. And before they are even distributed, maybe at 2 p.m., 4 p.m., by 6 p.m., you begin to hear that police and thought they were shooting guns and all that. I mean, we didn't get that kind of report. We are not expecting anything made by man cannot be perfect. The United States can never be perfect, no matter what they do.
The other part is, normally, you have the machines and you have manual backup. So when the machine fails, they go to cards.
Option B.
Option B, so you can still vote. And that is all throughout the country. So you don't have just one system fails and everybody sits down there. No, you can now go into manual voting.
Well, before we went to talk about, the voting pattern in the black community over there in New York, I was going to bring up this matter of Black Lives Mattering. Well, under a black president, we had, so many cases of black people being targeted by law enforcement agents. But interestingly, a black law enforcement officer, a black policeman, actually, wrote something on his Facebook page that more black lives are taken by blacks themselves when you take averages into consideration. Now we're looking at the way forward under a Trump administration, under a Clinton administration. What hopes do black lives have?
Now, what that gentleman wrote about, you have more deaths occurring from blacks, you're talking about black on black crime.
Exactly.
And you compare that to the black, that's really inappropriate. Being killed by people in authority is different from being killed by criminals, which is just criminal, okay? And I can tell you, having lived there, I know this fear. I can tell you how many times I've been inappropriately stopped by a police officer just for driving a very nice car. I had a Mercedes-Benz SL 500 convertible, and I was coming from a party, a Nigerian party, from my driving a convertible in Montgomery County, Maryland. And my friends listened there, a friend just told me, because I put on the GPS, and he says, veer right, so you can go on the highway. And I did that. He said, I was driving drunk. So, examples like that. It's because Obama was there. You see, this Black Lives Matter, there was no statistic, there was no change in what was happening before Obama and what happened during Obama. The only thing is more exposure. They are caught in the act. They got cameras shooting at them. They have people watching them, which were not possible before. You know how many people had handheld cameras and cell phones? So it's just the exposure become bigger. It's just been like that traditionally in that country. Sadly so.
And you think it may escalate under...
It will escalate.
It will escalate because it emboldens this type of attitude. When you talk down people and you look at one race being superior to the other, it just emboldens folks. I mean, when you get stopped by the police, sometimes you're just thinking, gee, is this the end for me? Because, look, the way some of them would just look at you as a black person, you just know something is in their head. So if Trump becomes the president, of course, because of what he has said about...
but I need to ask that, to add that the system is not a matter of Trump or Obama or Clinton.
I agree with you.
This system, this is a system that allowed for cleansing from 1964. And just 50, out of 200 and something years of America's existence, the blacks started living just about 52 years ago. So it will take time. The system is was bigger than Obama, and is bigger than Trump. There is no way Trump will tell white police officers to go and kill blacks, just as Obama didn't tell them go and kill blacks. Now, you will discover that we even have a more decent system in America now. We used to have the Ku Klux Klan, KKK, that was just there killing blacks. So the killings, what like you say, what has added is the publicity. Blacks have always been the endangered species in the American society. So whether Clinton or Trump, nothing will change because the white man has instituted a system that is pro-white. And that system will not quickly go away. That system is just about 52 years old in taking a baptism.
But now let me get this clear, because when we talk about a pluralistic society like the United States of America, multiracial society, we have the Caucasians, we have the Asiatics, we have the Latinos, we have the Slavs, we have the Africans, we have everything in between. You have the Arabs, the Middle Easterners. I mean, it's a potpourri of different colors, different shades, different racist. So in this case, who are the victims?
The victims are mainly